Hey, what's up guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. In this video, we're going to take a look at the ongoing cosmic ray event. Are you serious right now? This is the most recent chart of the cosmic rays. You can see the blue cosmic rays. These are the most recent readings, I believe off the coast of eastern Canada, literally off the charts. The red circles you see are an increase of 5%. The blue circles you see are an increase of probably 40 to 50%. Absolutely off the charts. Unbelievable. We are currently in the middle, still in the middle, have been now for, I believe, going on 4 days now. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to the live stream. We're currently in the middle, I believe, of day 4 of a proton storm. You're looking at the ionosphere D region graph right here, and you can see the north and south poles still absorbing energy from a CME. Come on, this has been going on for 4 days. So I know solar activity is picking up. In fact, we're going to talk about that in this video. In fact, we're going to talk about a lot of things in this video. I've got the sun, I've got the dust storm. I want to share some pictures with you guys. I was staring at one of the largest dust storms I think I've ever seen. And I've been in a few out here in Arizona. What's up, Kaylin? Cindy Lou, Rick, hi everybody. I've been in a few dust storms out here in Arizona. I don't think I've ever been in one as big as what we saw the other day. It spanned for I don't know how many miles. I think 40 or 50 miles, maybe longer. It was tall. It had some sort of a weird white color into it in the top. It was brown, obviously, because of the sand, but it had an unusual component, one like I'd never seen before. But we'll come back and take a look at some of those photos. I've got some cool sky photos to share with you guys by request, new sky phenomena photos. But first, I want to talk about the sun. This is the main event, okay? We're over here at the homepage of the website. We're going to check in on the Schumann real quick. I know a lot of you guys like to follow the Schumann. Some of you guys are so sensitive to the spikes in the Schumann resonance. You don't need a graph to let you know, hey, the Schumann's spiking. And yes, the Schumann is indeed spiking. Has been spiking for the last, at least in the 24-hour period, 10 of the last 24 hours, the Schumann's been above 40 hertz. Looking at the GOES X-ray flux, you can see there's been a flurry of activity. 3 or 4, actually 4 M-class solar flares in the last 6 hours. So solar activity is on the rise. Here's why. Looking at the Earth-facing side of the sun, loaded with sunspots in active regions. So we will see an increase in solar activity. In fact, the solar flux is up to 226 right now, and that's pretty normal for solar maximum. I've seen it a little bit higher than that, but that's not as high as it could be. Here's looking at the ionosphere D region. Again, this will light up. What you're looking at are the polar regions of the Earth. When the Earth interacts with a CME from a solar flare, when it impacts the Earth, the energy is channeled to the north and to the south poles, and the ionosphere will start to show signs of wave propagation. It can interfere with airplane radio communications in the upper, especially the upper latitudes, not so much the lower latitudes, because a lot of planes don't fly over Antarctica. But if they did, strong storms like this would interfere with their ability to communicate. It creates wave propagation in the ionosphere, and that's what disturbs the transmission of the radio communication, because the ionosphere is used a lot for communication. So yeah, we're still in the middle of this storm that's been ongoing now for, like I said, almost 4 days. Speaking of storms, here's the sandstorm making the 4,000-mile journey from the west coast of Africa. It's been going strong since day 1 of summer. In fact, prior to day 1 of summer. That's the sand coming off the Sahara right there. But you know what? It's letting up some. And if that sand lets up, that creates a very harsh environment for the formation of hurricanes. Hurricanes don't like that dry environment out there. And we've only seen really one this year, Aaron, and nobody really saw it. It was out here in the western Atlantic and made its way up the eastern seaboard. Didn't make landfall, which was a good thing. But if this sand completely disappears, then September could be an interesting month for hurricanes. Right now, there's no hurricanes in the in the near future, at least in the next 5 days. Looking at the Atlantic Basin, the Caribbean, and the Gulf, should see no hurricane activity at least for the next 5 days. But again, if that sand completely disappears, storms could form out there like they've always done throughout history. That's where they form. That's called the main development region. But where in the world are these cosmic rays coming from, guys? This is the Bartol Cosmic Ray Monitor, and you can see this is a normal day over here on the left-hand side. That's normal, right? That's a big deal. Whoa, those are off the chart. I wasn't kidding. Literally off the charts. Unbelievable. Oh, man, that is big. Okay, speaking of big, this photo was sent in by Kieran M. She ran across this photo from Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. I mean, this storm, this wall of dust was probably over 50 miles long. And it was, like I said, one of the thickest I think I'd ever seen. We were outside. We went inside immediately once we saw it. But notice the unusual white sand that it was picking up. I'm assuming that's sand, or those are clouds being pulled down out of the sky into the top of the storm. I don't know, but it was one of the most gnarly storms I think I've ever seen. Here's the wall of dust from our neck of the woods. Again, that's when it first started right there. It looked like a mountain coming down out of the sky. Are you serious right now? Literally looked like a mountain coming down out of the sky. Let me X out of that one real quick. I wanted to show you the... Oh yeah, here we go. This is when it started getting closer. And I mean, it was... There's that white again. You can see some white. And I saw a big center of rotation off to the right. It was huge. There was a huge vortex off to the right. So it just had things all stirred up. Here's another photo from Miss Cook up in the Ahwatukee area. I mean, the whole valley got a big old dose of, and you can see white there too, big old dose of dust a few days ago. And I'm telling you, when I see those things, I go the other way. I go inside. I don't want anything to do with them. They are nasty. I'd rather have a foot of snow than a massive dust storm like that. Oh, the stage is still set, guys. By the way, I wanted to touch base, and maybe that's the origin of these cosmic rays. Maybe there's an increase in, I know there's an increase in overall activity around the Earth, and we should see, we'll probably see more earthquakes and volcanic eruptions here over the next few days. The stage is indeed set. It is still set. The planets don't move super fast. You guys all know that. But the planetary alignments are still there. I mean, they haven't really changed a whole lot since we started talking about them. We'll talk more about Atlas in the coming days. We still don't know what that thing is. Is it a comet? Is it something else? They're still debating. Nobody really knows for sure. But Earth, Venus, Jupiter, Mercury's in the equation now. And of course, the sun's the main component. Look at that as a circuit board. Those are carrying a current. And it's called right angular momentum. And when the planets are not necessarily in a straight line, but, you know, in the same vicinity, they do exchange energy. Absolutely. And especially the gas giants. When the gas giants are involved, and of course the sun's always in the equation, you do see an increase in activity on the Earth. And this one over here, Mars, Earth, Saturn, and Uranus, that one too. So there's two right now going on. Maybe they're stirring up the cosmic rays, but the stage is still set, guys. Look for more large earthquakes. We saw it started out as an 8.0 down in the Antarctica area about a week ago, got downgraded to a 7.5, but more than likely that was stirred up from the unique planetary alignment. I want to take you guys now down to New Zealand. Check this out. This photo was sent in by Adam, and I've shared photos like this with you guys before in the past. Where do these things come from? I personally have seen probably, I don't know, between 5 and 10 of these giant rectangles in the sky. They don't look like typical clouds. And that's what compelled Adam to take this photo. Notice the 90-degree angles on the right and on the left. How does nature create 90-degree angles in the sky? So what I did, I took the original, which was right here. That was the original photo. Then I just simply modified it a little bit. Not alter it, I just adjust the lighting and then whatever color I could work with. And this one had a hole right in the middle. Wasn't to the left, wasn't to the right, right smack dab in the middle. big rectangle hovering above New Zealand. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And again, I've seen this probably at least 5 times. Same size, about the same altitude off the ground, not very high up. Not quite sure how the atmosphere pulls that off, if the atmosphere is actually doing it. There was a unique look at it right there. I don't know. It's just weird. Adam was compelled to take a photo. He shared it with me. I'm just simply sharing it with you guys. Thank you, Adam. Really appreciate that. Okay, no hurricanes. We're in the middle of a proton storm. I've got all crazy skies. You guys are going to see one of the craziest clouds I think I've ever seen. Check this out. Here we go. Are you serious right now? What is going on here? This looks like a tsunami wave, right? It's not, thankfully. But look at the people down here on the right. This gentleman here is walking out to take a look. There's a gentleman over there taking a picture. Another guy standing there. He's like, what in the world is going on? This is out of, I believe, Virginia. Yeah, that was out of, let's see, hold up. Yeah, Chris sent that in out of Virginia. Are you serious right now? I mean, honestly, that is one cool photo. And I didn't do anything to it, but put his name on it. Thank you, Chris. Really appreciate that. And he wasn't the only one that was taking pictures. Keep in mind, he was over here taking pictures of the sky, and there were 3 people in front of him. Those 3 that you just saw right there looking at it. And there's no telling how many other people were out there looking at it. That was one weird afternoon. Just trust me, you don't see clouds like that every day. That literally looked like a tsunami coming in off the coast. Here's another unusual one. I found this on satellite presentation, and I lined it up with the viewer on the ground. Check this out. This doesn't happen very often, but this was a very big, and again, another super unique observation from Pahrump, Nevada. Check this out. There's that's a cloud or some sort of a cloud in the sky above southern Nevada, right? So when I got the photo from the individual, you're going to see right there is what I lined up. I lined that one up from the ground. Check this out. Here's the ground view of that same cloud. There it is. This is unedited. All I did was put their name on it. Shannon out of Pahrump, Nevada. I had to share this one again because I know a lot of you haven't seen this. Next to the one that we just saw in Virginia, this is probably one of the weirdest ones I think I've ever seen. Again, we confirmed this with the satellite view right there. There's the cloud. There it is on the ground. Wow, you can't make this stuff up. The sky's putting on a show. And those of you that are awake, and I know everybody over here in the chat's wide awake, you guys don't miss a trick. And a lot of people on the ground. What's cool about today's world, there's a lot of stuff going on in the skies. Everybody has access to a high definition recording device. Everybody can take a picture of the sky at any given time, day or night. And that's what happened here. And I just happened to confirm that on satellite presentation. That was yet another, how did nature make that? And there weren't any other clouds in the sky except that. Now the lights that you see in the photo, those are direct reflections of the lights on the garage, on the front of the house. So those lights were not in the sky, simply a reflection. Everything else you see, that's how the photo was shared with me. What in the world? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, we're seeing large rectangles down in New Zealand. We're seeing things that look like flying vessels in the sky above southern Nevada. I mean, wow. The Earth is truly putting on a show. Here's a pyramid in the sky. Check this out. Dana B, not sure of the location, but that's okay. Sometimes people forget. I understand. But if you do send in something, please include your name. Just your first name's fine. Date and location, and I'll take it from there. This one here, obviously you can see why they were compelled to take the photo. Looked like a pyramid over there in the sky, right? Just having a little fun here, guys. We've seen pyramids, we've seen rectangles, we've seen things that look like flying ships. Now we're seeing these massive roll clouds again out of Howell, Michigan. Monica shared this photo. Massive roll clouds. It just look like gravity waves up in the sky above Michigan the other day. Massive sunbeams spanning across the sky. This photo was sent in just recently. Eileen out of Henderson, Nevada, not far from Pahrump. Fiery orange sky, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Mike Huff. This was the sun the other day. I I mean, obviously this was being influenced by wildfire smoke dipping down from Canada, and the sun, it was acting as a solar filter really, and it turned the sun pink. How about that? What a cool photo. Going to Orlando, Florida. Garrett. Notice these colorful clouds on top of the clouds above Orlando, Florida. And I get a lot of these from Orlando. I wouldn't necessarily say a lot, but I get more than average from the Orlando area, these types of clouds. I've received several just in the last, I don't know, 4 weeks of those very specific kind of clouds. Dale out of Fort Lupton, Colorado. Are you serious? Talk about orange. Nelson Jenks sent in this photo, high definition photo of the moon. Look at the craters. That is a very unique look at the moon. And you know, that's a topic that we're going to touch on one of these days in a live stream or maybe even in a video. I like the live because I can, you know, kind of hang out in the live after I get done with the things that I want to share with you guys. But I would like to get your thoughts on the moon. I really would. The moon is a highly mysterious object. It never moves off of its axis. All of us that have been on this earth, as long as we've been on this earth, we've never seen any other portion of the moon than what we see right here. And it just does not ever change. And that alone is very mysterious to me. I find that very mysterious. I think the moon is, I'm not going to say in this video. We'll talk about it later. I want to know what you guys think the moon could possibly be. I know it's a very important part of our world. I think we should use the lunar cycle as a calendar instead of the solar. I mean, the solar is better for the 365-day year. I get it. But if you use the moon cycle, it's 28 days exactly, you know. So although you'd have to somehow go into a 13-month year. But again, that's a topic we'll talk about that later. The moon doesn't rotate, it revolves. You are right there, beautiful chaos. And we've only seen one side of the moon. I would love to see the other side of the moon, right? Here's the proton storm that once again we're currently still in. And guys, I'm not quite sure that this is originating from I know the solar activity is picking up, but a proton storm, let me show you what a proton storm looks like. A proton storm looks like this, right here. This is a proton storm at the Soho Lascaux C2. And this was back in 2003. These were the Halloween solar storms of 2003. And I saved these on my desktop because these are an excellent example of what a proton storm, a very strong proton storm, looks like. That's when a very dense cloud of plasma comes directly at the Earth. Right there is a prime example of how the satellites perceive that energy. I haven't seen that the last couple of days. I've seen a little bit, but nothing that would indicate, okay, we're going to have a 4-day proton storm event. I don't know. I think it's coming from the planetary alignment. I think that has something to do with it. That I've seen that energy before over the years. It's something I've studied. I went back 150 years and with data that I could retrieve. And there is a connection between the planetary alignments and the energy around the Earth with regard to earthquakes and volcanoes. Yes, I did connect those dots many years ago, in fact. So now, whenever I see those planetary alignments come around, I look for that activity. So anyway, good to see everybody here today. Joe, what's up? Eric, got some Star family members in the house. I don't see Paletta here. She must not have got notified. Did you guys get notified or did you just happen to run across the live? I'm just curious. Excuse me, guys. I gotta get a little sip of Wawa here. Oh, there's Pat. Hey, Pat. What's going on? Thank you, Pat. All right. How's everybody doing today? Is it hot in your location? I'm going to tell you what, for Arizona, that's where I'm at, Arizona, it has been incredibly, at least for Arizona, compared to Louisiana, it's not humid, but it's humid here. I was outside earlier. My son and I were working on a little project, and I mean to tell you, hey, Tim Huntley, Star family member in the house, AZ Watchwoman, the very first Star family member right there, AZ Watchwoman 777. Showed up on your feed. Cool. Thank you, Dennis Bell. Smash the like, guys. Thank you, moderator. I always forget to ask you guys to do that. It does help. How many likes do we have? Because you know what? Whenever, and I'm not trying to win a popularity contest, guys. No, I'm too old for that. 358 likes, that's not going to push it out there very far. So the more likes that, not only my live, but anybody's live, the more likes it has, it tells the algorithm, hey, I'm going to recommend it to another, whatever, 100 people, 200 people, and it just keeps recommending it. If it's not getting any likes, then it's obviously not going to recommend it. So recommend it, please. It's free. Just click the like button and it will recommend it. Don't need AC, Revelation Gods. Cold in Adelaide, South Australia. Melissa. It's huge. Joe Potter, 80 in Kentucky. Amuna Lynn, how does it affect the ions? Good question. We have 3 minutes. Let's hit the like. Oh yeah, let's hit that like button, guys. Just hit the like. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. Charges up the ions. That's right, Joe. It does charge up the ions. It affects molecules, the electrons, the protons. They're raining down on the Earth. Literally right now as I do this video, right there, it causes drag. You know they say, like right there, what you're looking at, that's a proton storm. That energy, it creates an environment around the Earth that creates drag on like right here, you're going to see a big burst. Satellites that are orbiting the Earth slow down. The denser that wave is, it causes them to slow down. They can put satellites in safe mode to protect the electrical components of the satellite, but that creates drag because it's a dense solar wind. So it can kind of throw them off their specific orbits, which can create, an issue for satellites that have to be on a very specific path. If it's a super strong solar storm that's just absolutely loaded, loaded with charged particles, it can cause electrical issues. But the biggest thing really is drag. They'll slow down. It's like they're entering water or something. They just they don't move as smooth and transient as they do now. Even though we're in the middle of a proton storm, it's nothing like that. I don't know. It's kind of like the cosmic rays. I don't know where they're coming from, but Melody got notified. Yay, Melody. Yeah, humid in Phoenix, Crypto Billy. It is humid out here in Arizona, but it could be because we've had rain the last couple of weeks off and on, and the ground is a little more moist than it normally is. The ground is usually just super, super dry, and we have dry heat typically, but here recently, I gotta admit, it's been humid, and you know what? I don't mind it. I like it. Thank you, Captain Slack. Appreciate that. Listen, guys, I appreciate all the likes, and I appreciate all of you stopping by and spending part of your day with me. I'm going to keep this one kind of short. Where are we at? I don't even know. I don't see the timer on here, but I know it's probably right around 30 minutes. I don't want to make it too long, so I just wanted to give you guys an update on, the things that I'm keeping an eye on. And one of the things is the sun, the cosmic rays, and of course the planetary alignment. So I'm going to keep this one short. I want to thank all you guys for spending part of your day with me. If you guys have any photos or videos you'd like to share, you can come over here to the homepage of the website, like this photo here today was sent in by Barbara out of Mount Shasta, Northern California. Look at that sky. That's what you call a lenticular cloud, and that one is explainable because of the mountains. Mount Shasta is known for producing clouds like that. It's just known for it. And that's a great example of one of those types of clouds. Some of them that appear just randomly out in the middle of nowhere, those you kind of look at like, okay, where's the mountains that help sculpt those things? But Mount Shasta is really, really cool. But anyway, if you guys have any photos or videos you'd like to share, come over here to the homepage of the website. Look for this tab that says reports at MrMBB333.com. That's the email. If you have a video that's too big to attach to the email, look for this red tab right here that says have a large video. Watch what it does. If you click on that, it's a Dropbox. Drag and drop your videos into the Dropbox. Again, just your first name, date, and location, and I'll take it from there. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.